Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Lou Taught You. Tis the season. I know everyone's out here hustling, wrapping up the fourth quarter, the last month, the last, 2 weeks, getting gifts for everyone, making sure the holidays look right, or dealing with whatever stresses may come. But what are you doing for you? What does self-care look like for you, especially in these times? Let's get into it. I think, it seems like it's a cliche topic, but I think it's very important and it's something that we need to drive home because a lot of us are so bad at it. And even when we do self-care, sometimes we feel guilty for it, or are made to feel guilty for it, and that's a problem. I think we first need to describe what self-care looks like for you. For some, it could be getting 7 to 8 hours of restful sleep. Others find it differently, and I think it's important for us to know what works for us and what we need to find those things and work towards those goals. Now, I am all about treating myself, but I want us to realize there's a difference between self-care, self-indulgence, self-sabotage. Certain things that we might make us feel good aren't necessarily good for us. So sometimes we self-soothe with especially these times, shopping, retail therapy. It's great to treat yourself, but that's not necessarily self-care. Sometimes a lot of self-care is a lot of shit we don't want to do, to be honest. But it is what is best for us and will bring us to our best self. And I think in this season, I've been doing a lot of reflection on that. I recently lost, I've experienced people who have passed, young people, and while those passings obviously have its level of sadness, I reflect on their lives and them taking it for what they wanted and doing what they wanted and defining, their last days for themselves. And I think there's beauty in that. There is a beauty in defining your life for yourselves, just like how we discussed, in our last episode. If self-care is leaving that toxic job, then that's what you need to do. If it's, branching out and doing something new, because, being in your comfort zone is safe, but there's no growth there. And sometimes it's on the other side of that you find your happiness and your purpose. Self-care is exercising, even if you don't like to do it. Self-care is, getting that rest even when you're being pulled in multiple directions. Self-care is eating your vegetables, even the nasty ones, because they have nutrients that your body needs. It's drinking water, even if you don't like the taste. And I think we have to prioritize self to be the best self for others, but ultimately for yourself first. And you can't be your best self for others without taking care of you. If these times haven't shown us anything, it has taught me that I have to redefine what's important, how I take care of myself, what that looks like, regardless of who might feel away or the ripple effects, if you're doing what's right for you first. The radical self-love that I had seen in, one of the people that have passed was beautiful. And I think it's like sometimes it's the little things, we're always so on the go. When you have your cup of tea or coffee in the morning, sit down and enjoy it. Taste it. Think about your day. Those little things. You can get $1 face mask and, go from there. Because, baby, when you're not taking care of yourself, you might not think it shows, but it shows. Those masks can only cover up so much. Like, you have to put yourself first. And me, especially as a mom, it's not easy. Mom guilt is real. I'm sure for everyone or anyone who's a caretaker or people who rely on them in their family or at work or friendship or relationships, there's a certain responsibility and burden there, but you still come first. And I just want us to remember that as we go into 2022, Lord. I'm grateful to make it there, but it ain't been easy. But reflect on the things that you want to do for yourself. You know what I mean? I haven't really gotten into meditating that great, but I'm taking baby steps, you know? I have been doing a challenge with a couple of my family members, and now I go walking every morning and it helps me clear my mind, you know? Self-care for me is being by the water, so I choose to go to a park where there's a stream and it's like a 2-for-1. It's not every day, it's most days of the week, but it's something, and I am proactive about it, I'm intentional about it, and I don't compromise it, because once you start just like, oh, I can do that later, or oh, something else is more important, is it really? Is it really more important than you? You know what I mean? So it's one of those kind of things that you just really have to, sometimes be hard on yourself about and really be honest with yourself. I think when you get to that place, it's beautiful. And then you start wanting more for yourself and better for yourself. And in that self-care, it's not only what you are doing, but what you're letting go of. Certain conversations, certain crowds, certain energies are no longer for you, and that's a beautiful thing. It can be hard, especially things that you might have been doing out of habit and tradition or family or trauma that didn't even realize was trauma, but to let go, to get onto the other side, is a wonderful and beautiful place to be. And I hope that for all of us, starting today into the new year and later on. I didn't want to get too bogged down in how it looks like, but I hope you are at least thinking about ways to take care of yourself better, because it can always be better if you're already there. Kudos to you. But remember, Lou taught you to learn to love yourself out loud. Just embrace everything that makes you better and growing. Like, I feel like you stop growing when you choose to stop learning, and we constantly have to learn ourselves because we're constantly changing, whether you realize it or not. Like, who you are today is not who you were a year ago, 2 years ago, even without the pandemic. There's hopefully growth and progress there, and let's just hope for good and positive progress, and let's be proactive about it. Like, let's not leave things to chance. Like, take a stake in your life, and I just hope it is a wonderful season for you guys, a season of growth and abundance, and I just can't wait to see what else is in store for all of us. So remember, Lou taught you that self-care is not selfish, self-love, and we all deserve it. You have to start with you first, and then worry about everybody else. All right? So we will chat. Love y'all.